Good Monday morning, everybody. I'm Dave Furtado.
And I'm meteorologist Jefferson Donovan.
And welcome to KEPR Quick, your latest local news and weather commercial free in about 22 minutes or less. We're going to jump right over to weather because, Jefferson, it was windy yesterday. Winds have died down this morning, and it seems like it's going to be a pretty good start to the work week.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful weather conditions as we do start the work week, but then things are going to change as we get towards the end of the work week. As we take a look at the three weather headlines today, we are going to be looking at pretty nice weather conditions, all things considered, through Wednesday as we do look at partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies for today, tomorrow, and on Wednesday. Thursday will feature an increase in clouds, and in fact I should note that through Wednesday as well we are going to be looking at light wind and seasonal high temperatures to go with those sunny skies. Again, beautiful through the middle part of the week. By Thursday, that is when we are going to see clouds increasing around eastern Washington and northeast Oregon, maybe an ominous sense of foreboding of what is to come. And then by the time we get to Friday, we are going to be looking at rain opportunities entering our forecast area. And in fact, there is going to be chances for rainfall not only on Friday, but also as we do head into Saturday and Sunday as well. We'll talk more about all three of these weather headlines more coming up.
Thanks, Jefferson. We begin this morning in Walla Walla. Police are investigating what they believe is a gang-related robbery and assault involving 3 underage suspects. And the investigation started in the early morning hours Thursday when hospital staff alerted police that a 19-year-old victim had been brought in with serious injuries. Detectives then tracked down the 3 suspects, a 16 and a 15-year-old male, as well as a 14-year-old female, all from Walla Walla. Police believe the robbery and assault occurred in the 100 block of Malcolm Street, and they believe it was gang-related. The 3 juveniles now face multiple charges, including robbery and assault. And in Benton County, we may be in moderate fire danger these days, but fire season still lingers with more brush fires breaking out. Friday morning, just after 8, firefighters from Benton County Fire District 1 responded to a natural cover fire along State Route 397 between Olympia and South Meals. About 4 acres were burning on a hillside, but crews were able to stop the forward progress of the fire and were in mop-up mode in less than an hour. It is a reminder that it's to be very careful and take steps to prevent any brush fires. And hundreds of people gathered along Columbia Center Boulevard in Kennewick as part of a nationwide movement against the Trump administration. It happened on Saturday, and it was the second event organized by a national group called Indivisible with a Tri-Cities chapter. Organizers say they strongly disagree with what's happening on the national stage, even criticizing Congressman Dan Newhouse.
This is our elected official, and he's not going to work. So I think that's a big part of it. And when we see that there are not any checks and balances right now on our president, that is very concerning to people.
A small number of counter-protesters were also present at the event, driving up and down the road with pro-Trump flags. Kennewick police say they had officers in the area keeping an eye on both groups. Now, in a statement provided by one of the organizers of the counter-protest, they say, quote, "Today's parade convoy was for those people in the community who love our country and want to show patriotism. God, country, and family are important to some of us, and we are proud to be Americans. We can all have our different opinions without being rude or unkind to each other." There was also a report of someone pointing a gun from their car at protesters, and Kennewick police say they are currently investigating that report. Officers asked that anyone who saw it happen or have photos or videos to contact non-emergency dispatch. Switching gears this morning, the Yakima Valley Veterans Coalition hosted the 26th annual Veterans Stand Down and Benefits Fair Saturday at the Sun Dome. KIMA's Aiden Connor was at the event and had a chance to speak with organizers and event goers.
The Veterans Stand Down event historically has served as an outlet for low-income or even homeless veterans, but the Yakima County Veterans Program wanted to reach an even larger audience.
What we did was we turned it into a benefit fair for all veterans, and so we're able to welcome any veteran, anytime, any service, actually any discharge, to come in and utilize this time and place to try to seek something that you're not receiving or try to find something that benefits you.
The decision seemed to pay off as the Sun Dome was packed with service providers and former veterans.
I'd want to say that this year is the most providers we've ever had, and so I'm kind of looking outside the box, getting anything from yoga to Department of Fish and Wildlife, the essential veteran services, service animals, and just kind of putting them into an area where it's a one-stop shop for veterans.
From a veteran's perspective, They see an event like the Benefits Fair as a prime opportunity to hit the ground running coming out of military service.
So these are the things that we were not told in the transition and coming out of military to civilian life. Right here, everybody is with resources of the, not just for our city, for our county, but for community, but also from Oregon. Met a gentleman there, and all of the resources for education, for employment services, they're all here.
Beyond the services offered at the fair, veterans also have a chance to reconnect with one another and share their experiences.
This is like Disneyland to veterans. I'm serious. This is like a big community event that everybody looks forward to every single year. And they come over and they get engaged. And, you know, maybe there's some brothers we haven't seen in years, you know, and this is where we're at.
Whether it was mental health care, home loans, employment services, or even dental care, the 2025 Veterans Benefits Fair provided no shortage of support. For Action News, I'm Aiden Connor.
KIMA's Aiden Connor, thank you. And in some state news this morning, Washington lawmakers have been diving into the state's revenue and growth forecast. KOMO's Natalie Fahmy tells us how the state economy is looking and how it could impact prices you see while shopping.
While total state revenues are expected to grow between this and next biennium, that growth has slowed down.
I would say we're seeing relatively slow growth from what we've seen in the past.
David Reich is the executive director and chief economist for the Washington Economic and Revenue Forecast Council. He says so far this year, employment has only grown about 0.3%.
Which is very slow employment growth for us. And so that's sort of an indicator that the economy is growing quite slow.
But he says some sectors of the state economy are doing okay despite low overall growth. Take imports and exports. He notes that it's up 7% year to date, especially in transportation equipment. Reich says that can likely be attributed to Boeing planes. He says agriculture is also doing well in exports. Everything else in exports and imports is down about 10% through the first half of the year.
But that's been happening for over a year or so it doesn't seem to be necessarily driven by the tariffs. It's probably a change in global markets.
While the September report shows slow growth, he does think things will be better come November.
Our base case is not a recession. Our base case is that we'll continue to see growth, but just slow growth.
Reich says it's unlikely inflation fully sorts itself out before 2027. He also says price hikes due to tariffs have not been as high as expected, but those will likely be more spread out over 2026. Natalie Fahmy, KOMO News.
KOMO's Natalie Fahmy, thank you. And on to some education news this morning. Columbia Basin College is expanding access to STEM education through the STEM Like Me Student Summit. The event was held Friday and is part of a 12-year partnership between CBC and the STEM Foundation. It offers high schoolers the opportunity to learn about local scientific opportunities. We spoke with the executive director of the STEM Foundation to learn more.
We bring in STEM professionals. The students are broken up into small groups, and they get to rotate through actual workshops led by CBC instructors, and they get to hear from a CBC student panel.
And already the summit is making a difference. We heard April's story of how the event impacted her educational path.
I think last year, just the speaker really related to me. Them being a first gen also inspired me that I can also be the first gen in my family and be the first to get my bachelor's degree.
Now, CBC and the STEM Foundation plan to continue the summit so the students of tomorrow can access a scientific future. Meanwhile, Heritage University is welcoming a new era with the inauguration of its fourth president, Dr. Chris Gilmer. The ceremony, which took place Friday morning in Toppenish, highlighted Dr. Gilmer's focus on expanding access to higher education, a mission that resonates far beyond Toppenish, including in the Tri-Cities, where Heritage has a satellite campus. Dr. Gilmer made a point of mentioning many students who come from rural and underserved backgrounds.
My heritage in so many unlikely ways, not that different than the heritage of this essential university, America's essential university. And I would guess not that different than many of your own stories.
I would submit that there is no greater purpose for a college or a university or an institution of any kind than promoting a more just society, especially right now. President Gilmer certainly embodies that commitment.
With strong ties across central Washington, Dr. Gilmore says he hopes to strengthen partnerships that support student success from the Yakima Valley to the Columbia Basin. And you guys got to check this out. A Richland High School senior has earned one of the highest honors Congress can give to young Americans, something only a handful in eastern Washington have ever received. KEPR's Alan Lester sat down one-on-one with the young woman and shares with us her story.
17-year-old Marjorie Bunch isn't your typical high school senior. She just became one of the few teens in the country, and only the second ever from the Tri-Cities, to receive the Congressional Award Gold Medal.
When she told me the requirements for the gold medal, I wanted to push myself to that.
The award, created by Congress in 1979, honors youth who complete hundreds of hours in volunteer service, personal development, physical fitness, and a self-led expedition, all over a minimum of 2 years.
Getting those hours pushed me to be involved in a lot of different aspects and a lot of different communities. And I think it's really, really important to get involved with your community and to find different programs and things that are fun, because there's so many different options for so many different things.
But behind every gold medal recipient is a strong support system. For Marjorie, that was none other than her mom.
Honestly, my mom, she was just really forcing it on me, like, you've made it this far, like, just keep going, just log your hours, like, put the work into filling out these forms and stuff like that. She helped me figure out what portions of my life would apply to this to help me get it easier.
Richland High School's principal says Marjorie's dedication is not only setting a high bar for her classmates, but showcases what local youth are capable of.
It shows that she's this overachieving child that wants to do really well, and I think that's an inspiration for many students. She just has all the right things to be a successful young lady.
And although she's reached the finish line, the award is more than a medal for Marjorie. It's a reminder that years of effort really do pay off.
Knowing that that was what I've been wanting since my freshman year, it's cool that I finally now have it, and I can be proud of that and tell people I have that. Like, it's cool. It's a cool feeling.
Reporting in Richland, I'm Alan Lester, KEPR Action News.
KEPR's Alan Lester, thank you. And as part of her achievement, Marjorie, along with the other Congressional Award Gold Medal recipients across the nation, will be invited to attend a summit in Washington, D.C. next summer to meet with the members of Congress, tour the nation's capital, and engage in a range of celebratory events. And with that, we're going to jump right over to meteorologist Jefferson Donovan. Jefferson, but first off, I want to say congratulations to Marjorie. That's a pretty cool achievement.
Yes.
I mean, one of two people in the Tri-Cities to ever win this award.
Awesome.
That's pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
And the weather's going to be fantastic, too, because temperature's not too shabby today, really seasonal, and we have those clear skies to start the work week.
Yeah, mostly sunny skies across the area today, and we are going to keep similar weather conditions through the next couple of days. As we take a look outside in the Tri-Cities for today, we are going to be looking at sunny skies overhead as high temperatures do warm into the low to mid 60s. That's going to be true really across the forecast area. Maybe a couple of upper 50s here and there, namely in the Kittitas Valley, upper 50s to low 60s, but really seasonal temperatures all the way around, and we are going to be enjoying that sunshine. Wind today is also going to be light. This is some welcome news after yesterday, which was an exceptionally windy day around eastern Washington and northeast Oregon. We did record a wind gust yesterday over 40 miles per hour in the Tri-Cities, a wind gust yesterday over 40 miles per hour in Walla Walla, and winds yesterday were gusting to near 50 miles per hour for Ellensburg and Pendleton. Again, a very windy Sunday around the region today. Will be a pretty light wind day. In fact, as we take a look at the wind forecast for today and tomorrow, only looking at winds gusting to around 20 miles per hour or so in the Tri-Cities, Walla Walla, and Pendleton on this Monday. Again, a far cry from the very strong winds we saw yesterday. And then on Tuesday, wind is just going to be a non-story around the entire region. Now, today is going to be nice. I've mentioned it several times already. Sunshine today. As we go into Tuesday, looking at partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies, as well as high temperatures do rise into the low 60s around the viewing area. And even on Wednesday, partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies as high temperatures do climb into the low 60s. Now let's look at the storm tracker futurecast, because things are going to change as we get towards the end of this week. In fact, by Friday, we are going to be watching the skies closely for showers working into the inland northwest. One more note I would like to say about Friday, areas along and west of the Cascades are going to be getting rather soggy. So if you're trying to get out of town for the weekend, maybe head over the Cascade Mountains to the west side. Just be prepared to encounter some pretty heavy rainfall really on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Speaking of Saturday, there is going to be an opportunity for widespread showers around our viewing area on Saturday. And even as we go into Sunday, looking at that possibility of widespread showers around eastern Washington and northeast Oregon. So for today, tomorrow, and on Wednesday, partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies. Clouds really thicken up by Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday will all feature good opportunities for some raindrops to fall around our general viewing area. We are going to keep an eye on the precipitation chances as we go throughout the week, but right now I'm going to toss it back over to Dave.
Thanks, Jefferson. The 24th annual Harvest Marching Band Festival took center stage at Eisenhower High School this past weekend, with several Yakima Valley and Tri-City schools taking home awards. KMA's Aiden Connor had a chance to speak with organizers and gives us a look at some of the Pacific Northwest's top high school bands.
The Harvest Marching Band Festival at Eisenhower High School welcomed several high school bands across the Pacific Northwest to showcase the many talents across the region.
It's a weird combination because it's so competitive, and if you've ever been to one, you don't quite realize it until you see scores being read, and people get really into it because we have a panel of 9 judges, and so they get judged in a bunch of different categories, and that total equals out to their total score.
While the bands were competing against each other, the competitive environment was a friendly one, to say the least.
It's cool at the same time because when you go to a marching band show, everyone's really competitive with each other, but at the same time, as groups are walking, you hear the other groups cheering them on. And so it's this cool environment of kids are really supportive of what each other are doing while trying to be the best at their own thing.
Eisenhower band director Chloe Pierce says that the festival gives her an opportunity to take in some new ideas from other bands across the Pacific Northwest.
Well, I think for me, as someone who's a younger teacher and newer to marching band, seeing the different shows in terms of design and the types of shows that are happening, the electronics props that are being used are totally different across all the shows, and the stories that the shows are telling are totally different.
She says that she's even looking for new ideas for her own band to try out in the future.
And it gives me new ideas and new insights into what's happening, which that's been one of the coolest and most valuable things for me.
The first place trophy in this year's competition was awarded to Cheney High School in Cheney, Washington. Several bands in the Yakima Valley and the Tri-Cities received honors at this year's festival, as Hanford High School in Richland received the third place trophy. Kennewick High School took home the first place trophy in the AA division. Highland High School finished in second place in the single A division, and Kamayakan High School was awarded the Best Drum Major Award. For Action News, I'm Aiden Connor.
KMA's Aiden Connor, thank you, and congrats to all of those winners. More Yakima Valley and Tri-City bands received awards. You can find the list of all of the award recipients at harvestbands.org. The downtown Yakima Farmers Market wrapped up its final market of the 2025 season over the weekend. Known for its wide variety of food vendors, produce stands, and family activities, the market has been a popular Sunday destination for locals across the Yakima Valley.
Well, farmers markets aren't just about shopping, right? They're more of an experience. So you're coming here, you're meeting the people that are growing your food or making your jewelry, all of that kind of stuff. There's live music, there's activities for kids. So it's really kind of an event that is just like a free event open to the public, which is really great.
Now, the final market also celebrated Kids Day with crafts, activities, and fun giveaways for young visitors. Meanwhile, Richland's Fall Carnival was back with a fun twist this year. The family-friendly event on Saturday was full of a variety of activities to choose from riding tractors to trick-or-treating to playing games and more. This year, there was a vintage arcade bus featuring old retro video games. Folks from Richland's Park and Recreation Department told us what they looked forward to the most.
Forward to all of our classic old carnival games, the candy walk, our friends who work over at the library, the friends of the library, the pumpkin patch. We've got a bunch of mini pumpkins to give away to the first 1,000 kiddos that show up. And one of my most favorites is the costume contest that happens right at the end. I believe it's 3:30 is the costume contest.
Meanwhile, the Tri-Cities has a new dog park in Kennewick that's been years in the making. Located in Columbia Park behind the boat launch near the Blue Bridge, it features more than 3 acres of fenced-off grass and trees for your furry friends to socialize with other dogs without a leash. Dozens of people from the community stop by to get the first look.
Really, it's the community involvement. I mean, that's what parks are about, is getting community together, giving people an opportunity to meet each other, talk to each other. And the love of the four-legged family member just opens up so many channels of communication.
Now, there are restrooms and benches inside the park and a dual gate entrance to prevent dogs from escaping. It's open every day from dawn until dusk. A little bit of a traffic alert for folks in Yakima. The intersection of 64th and Titan Avenues will have temporary traffic restrictions today. From 7 a.m. to 1 p.m., left and right turn lanes onto 64th and Titan Avenues will be closed for crosswalk upgrades. The city says crews will be widening the crosswalks to better accommodate pedestrians and golf carts and remove a crosswalk just south of the intersection. Viewers are invited to join Nancy Leahy, a longtime community advocate and passionate fundraiser, for a glass of sparkling red wine at the Yakima Visitor Center in this latest episode of our interview series, Wine Time Yakima. Nancy shares how her career has spanned teaching and broadcasting and raising a family in Yakima, following her husband's career across other states. She also talks about her work with Parker Youth and Sports Foundation and how her father helped shape her love of sports at a young age.
I'm one of 4 girls, and my father raised us as boys, frankly. He was a veterinarian, Washington State graduate, and had the fortune of 4 girls, so he never had to cook a meal. But he made sure we got to football games, horseback riding lessons, tennis, took us to the NFL.
Nancy also spoke about her involvement with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, the Rotary Club of Yakima, and the Stonehenge Memorial Preservation Committee. Wine Time Yakima with Nancy Leahy is streaming now on our YouTube channel. New ones premiere every Saturday at 7 p.m. You can also catch up on all of our previous episodes anytime. And that does it for us. Thank you for watching this episode of KEPR Quick. For more local news and weather, you can head over to our websites. It's KEPR and KIMATV.com, as well as our Facebook pages. But while you're here, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to keep up with our latest mini newscasts Monday through Friday. Have a terrific start to your work week, everybody.